Welcome to In the Zone with yours truly, Anthony Smith. Normally, I would probably be giving you scores and recaps from the NFL, but today marks what would be a very somber day in the world of sports. And I know we have talked about the passing of players. However, today hits a little bit differently, as we had not the report of one, but two players passing away. No sooner as we were trying to get our heads wrapped around the passing of one, this evening we get the word of the passing of another one. So we're going to unwrap this and talk about two players today who left their mark on the game. One was flawed, but yet you can't take away his accomplishments. The other one was very known for the finger point and the catchphrase, "Not in my house." If I could do it like he do it and show him some justice, you may remember the voice that sounded like this: "Not in my house." That's right. Dikimbe Mutumbo, Basketball Hall of Famer and NBA Global Ambassador, dies at 58. The center blocked 3,289 shots during his long career that included stops in Denver, Atlanta, Philadelphia, New Jersey, New York, and Houston. Beloved finger-wagging Hall of Fame center Dikimbe Mutombo, one of basketball's most feared shot blockers and admired humanitarians, died after fighting brain cancer, officials said on Monday. Mutombo, the NBA's first global ambassador, was 58. "I am one of the many people whose lives were touched by Dikimbe's big heart, and I will miss him dearly," NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said in a statement. Former President Barack Obama said Mutombo's legacy will live forever as more athletes use their name and resources to improve others' lives. Dikimbe Mutombo was an incredible basketball player, one of the best shot blockers and defensive players of all time, Obama said in a statement. But he also inspired a generation of young people across Africa, and his work as NBA's first global ambassador changed the way athletes think about their impact off the court. Michelle and I are thinking of Dikimbe's family and everyone who knew and loved him. Mutombo rejected 3,289 shots, the second most in NBA history, during his long career. That included stops in Denver, Atlanta, Philadelphia, New Jersey, New York, and Houston. Many of those block shots were followed by an intimidating finger wag, telling opponents that it was in their best interest not to shoot the basketball within reach of the 7'2" star. Mutombo was named NBA's Defensive Player of the Year 4 times. Younger fans who might not have been familiar with Mutombo's NBA career, 1991 to 2009, were introduced to his finger wag during a Geico car insurance ad that comically featured his blocks and taunts. After his career of protecting the rim and sending shots back from where they came, Mutombo dedicated his life to charitable health care efforts, back in his native Democratic Republic of Congo and other developing countries. The Dikimbe Mutumbo Hospital's emergency room, intensive care unit, and 150 beds began serving patients in Kinshasa, the capital of his homeland, when it opened in December 2007. My thing is about fighting the mortality rate so we can allow the people to live longer, he told NBC News in 2016. That has been my cause, my drive. NBA Commissioner Silver called him simply larger than life and a humanitarian at his core. On the court, he was one of the greatest shot blockers and defensive players in the history of the NBA, Silver said. Off the floor, he poured his heart and soul into helping others. Dikimbe Mutombo Mapalando Makamba Jean Jacques Wamatombo was born in Kinshasa on June 25, 1966. He came to Georgetown University with hopes of becoming a doctor, but his large frame caught the attention of everyone on campus, including basketball coach John Thompson. The future Hall of Fame coach, who developed future big men Patrick Ewing and had Alonzo Mourning on campus, convinced Mutombo to turn his attention to the hardwood. Mutombo parlayed his Georgetown play into becoming the 4th overall pick of the Denver Nuggets in the 1991 NBA draft. Mutombo earned his bachelor's degree in 1991 and then an honorary doctorate from Georgetown in 2010. From his prolific college and professional basketball careers to his tireless work in retirement to improve the lives of those in need of better health and opportunity, he lived Georgetown's values in a way we always will hold with great esteem and pride, Georgetown Vice President Joseph Ferrara said in a statement. His passing is a tremendous loss for Georgetown community and indeed the United States, Congo, and everywhere else where he uplifted those around him. As a pro, Mutombo's deepest playoff run came in 2001 when he and fellow Georgetown alum Allen Iverson led the Philadelphia 76ers to the NBA Finals before falling to the Los Angeles Lakers of Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. It's a sad day, especially for us Africans and really the whole world, 76er center and Cameroon native Joel Embiid told reporters on Monday shortly after he learned of Mutombo's passing. Other than what he has accomplished on the basketball court, I think he was even better off the court. So that's how we start things off today on In the Zone with yours truly, Anthony Smith. The passing of one Dikimbe Mutombo. This is not going to be a long, drawn-out podcast. It's just going to be straight to the point of the news that is really happening today as we wrap our thoughts around what has transpired. Truly one of the greatest big men in the history of the NBA. Not a lot of points scored, but yet he was a big impact on the court. And as you can see, an even bigger impact off the court. A humanitarian in the game of what we call life. So what I'm going to do right here, I'm going to take a break. And when I come back, we have some more to give you. To talk about the next individual. One who made his impact on the baseball diamond. One who should be enshrined. It will be an ongoing debate until Major League Baseball finally decide to do the right thing. Who am I talking about? Come back with me on the other side of this break, and we will let you know. In the Zone with yours truly, Anthony Smith.
Report from the sports world. Baseball legend Pete Rose has died. Rose spent 3 decades as a player and manager, most notably with the Cincinnati Reds. He was a 3-time World Series champion, 17-time All-Star, and still holds the record for most career hits with 4,256. But he was infamously banned from baseball in 1989 over accusations he gambled on games as a player and manager, which he admitted to years later. That ban also kept him out of the Baseball Hall of Fame. Pete Rose was 83 years old. And we do have breaking news.
And that is next on the agenda. Baseball legend Pete Rose dies at the age of 83. As you heard, Rose was a 17-time Major League Baseball All-Star. Pete Rose, Major League Baseball's hit king, who then became a pariah for gambling on the game, has died at the age of 83. The medical examiner in Clark County, Nevada, confirmed to ABC News on Monday. Rose was found at his home by a family member. According to the medical examiner, there were no signs of foul play. The coroner will investigate to determine cause and manner of death. The medical examiner told ABC News that Rose was not under the care of a doctor when he died, and the scene is being examined. The coroner will investigate to determine the cause and manner of death. ABC News has reached out to Pete Rose's reps. Rose brought a workmanlike attitude to America's pastime and won innumerable fans for his hustle on the field. By the end of his 24-year career, 19 of which were with the Cincinnati Reds, he held the record for most career hits as well as games played, plate appearances, and at-bats. He was also a 17-time All-Star in the 1973 National League MVP and 1963 Rookie of the Year. He also won 3 World Series, 2 with Cincinnati's Big Red Machine Clubs in 1975 and 1976, and a 3rd with the Philadelphia Phillies in 1980. But Rose will always be remembered as much for being banned for life from MLB in 1989 over gambling on games while he was managing the Reds. With Rose under suspension, new MLB Commissioner Bart Giamatti commissioned an investigation led by John Dowd, a lawyer with the Department of Justice, in April 1989. By June, the damning report was released documenting at least 52 bets on Reds games in 1987, his first season as solely a manager after serving as player manager for 3 seasons. The bets totaled thousands of dollars per day, according to the Dowd report. Faced with few options, Rose voluntarily accepted placement on baseball's ineligible list in August 1989. Despite this, Rose continued to deny he ever gambled on his own team for over a decade. He finally admitted to gambling on Reds games in his 2004 autobiography, My Prison Without Bars. In an interview on ABC News promoting the book, he came clean for the first time as well. He says, "I bet on baseball in 1987 and 88, he told ABC News' Charles Gibson in an exclusive interview that aired January 8, 2004 on Primetime Thursday. That was my mistake, not coming clean a lot earlier." He maintained he never bet against his team, saying he wanted to win every game. I think what happens is you're at the time you're betting football, and then what's after football is basketball, and obviously the next thing that follows is baseball, Rose said. It's just a pattern that you got into. 2 years after Rose was banned for life, the Baseball Hall of Fame ruled no one on the ineligible list would be allowed into the institution. The controversy over Rose's suspension and ban from the Hall of Fame has taken on a life of its own, becoming a subject sports fans often debate more than his legendary on-field exploits. Even then, President Donald Trump weighed in on the debate in February 2020, tweeting, "He gambled, but only on his team winning, and paid a decades-long price. Get Pete Rose into the Baseball Hall of Fame. It's time." Me not being a political person, have to say that right there is where I'm in an agreement with one Donald J. Trump. It's time. Get Pete Rose into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Rose petitioned the league to be removed from the list in 1992, 1998, 2003, 2015, and 2022. But either was rejected or received no response each time. That was a part of my life that you can't change. You wish it hadn't happened, but you can just guarantee yourself that it won't happen again, Rose told ABC News in 2004. There is little debate over whether his on-field performance merits inclusion in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Rose's pursuit of the career hits record captivated the country in 1985. Rose broke Ty Cobbs' hallowed record on September 11, 1985, with a single against the San Diego Padres for his 4,192nd hit. He also played just one more season, finishing his career with 4,256 hits. Decades later, Rose remains atop the career hits list. Only Derek Jeter, 3465, Albert Pujols, 3384, and Paul Molitor, 3319, have even come within 1,000 hits of Rose's record in the time since it was set, and none seriously challenged the mark. Years later, in 1978, Rose captured attention when he made a run at Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak, maybe the most vaunted record in sports. Starting on June 14, Rose would record a hit in 44 straight games. That streak finally came to an end on July 19, but 44 games remains the second longest streak since 1900. Rose was married twice and was in a long-term relationship with model Kiana Kim since 2011. The two appeared in a reality TV show, Pete Rose, Hits and Miseries. In 2013, Rose had 4 children. Rose's eldest son, Pete Rose Jr., played in the minors and independent baseball for over 10 years, but played just 11 games in the majors with the Reds in 1997. He had 2 career hits. Rose never strayed far from baseball despite being on the sports ineligible list. His number 14 was retired by the Reds and appeared on the Sports All-Century team as voted by fans in 1999. The team was announced at that year's All-Star game in Boston, and Rose received a standing ovation. Only 3 non-Hall of Famers are on the list of 30 players with Roger Clemens and Mark McGwire absent due to allegations of steroid use that popped up after the list was compiled. I owe baseball, Rose told Gibson in 2004. Baseball doesn't owe me a damn thing. I owe baseball, and the only way I can make my peace with baseball is taking this negative and somehow making it into a positive. So there you have the news of the passing of two legends in their respective sports. Dikimbe Mutumbo, basketball legend, humanitarian, global ambassador, and Pete Rose, one who finally came clean. And like I say, I'm not the biggest political guy. I don't even always agree with the candidates that we have. But this is the one time when I will say I have to agree with Donald Trump. Get that man into the hall. Even if I can take a religious term, even God himself forgives sinners. You can look throughout biblical history of those who were very prominent that had to be dealt with because of their sins. But they came back and repented and were forgiven and given a new look on life. Pete Rose won't be given a new look on life, not on this side. However, the man came clean. Major League Baseball, you need to do your part. He's gone, but he's not forgotten. Even Martin Luther King said these words, "Don't judge me by the color of my skin, but by the content of my character." If a man comes clean, confesses, is remorseful, and says he's sorry, don't look at what he did that was wrong. Look at what he did on the field of play. Major League Baseball, it's time to put this man into the hall. Well, that brings this show to a close. I hope you have enjoyed today's version of In the Zone with yours truly, Anthony Smith. Leave me some feedback. There are multiple platforms in which you can listen to this podcast. By all means, follow, download, share it. And if you see a comment section, by all means, please leave comments. I'll be glad to see your comments. I will also be posting this link on my A-Train Sports Talk podcast page. That's right, I do have multiple podcasts. So to those of you who are listening, I will get back on my high school grind on the A-Train Sports Talk podcast. But today's news of the passing of Dikimbe Mutumbo and Pete Rose were of the utmost importance. So I want to get this out. So like I said, you can download, you can share, you can leave comments. This is the one time I would love to see your feedback. And the poll question pretty much is this right here. Should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame? I already given you my answer. Based on his accomplishments on the field, it's past time. Let's do the right thing. Honor this man and give his family something to look forward to. Until next time, I'm out. You have a blessed day.